Hello and welcome to our daily devotion where we share this one thing from our daily readings from the Revised Common Lectionary for Thursday, April the 16th. My name is Pam Maston. I'm one of the associate pastors here at First Presbyterian Church of Fort Lauderdale, and thank you for joining me today. Well, last night, my neighbor and I were social distance biking, wearing our face coverings around the neighborhood. It was a lovely evening, and honestly, it was nice to be outside after being cooped up in the house with 5 people working from home. We saw people outside enjoying the evening breeze. I noticed the beautiful spring flowers, and I noticed the way that neighbors are waving and trying to be respectful of our distance on the walkways and bike paths. And then, all of a sudden, we saw a parade of police cars with lights and sirens driving slowly throughout the community. Music played loudly as the cars drove by. It was like a live musical. People were spontaneously shouting, "Thank you," and waving. And it was clear that people had strong emotions about it. It was, of course, a very sweet way of honoring our medical professionals and first responders. And honestly, it was uplifting, life-giving, and a nice distraction from the worries of how to live in the midst of a pandemic. As Christians, we are encouraged to share our songs of praise, and I think Psalm 47 describes an appropriate response. This Christian musical in Psalm 47 consists of clapping hands, trumpet blasts, singing songs of praise, and shouting cries of joy. In verse 6, the psalmist writes, "Sing praises to God, sing praises to our King, sing praises." Well, you may be asking, why? Why all the hubbub? And how does this affect our own lives today? This one thing for today is the clue, I think, in the answer to why do we sing praises to God? It's right there in verse 7. For God is the King of all the earth. For God is the King of all the earth. And that, my friends, is why we shout for joy. God rules over all creation, all the nations, all the people. God is ruling our lives. God has given us love in so many ways. God gives us peace because God is in control. And God has given us hope for the future, everlasting life. The reality is that there is not a person on this earth who hasn't been impacted by the coronavirus in one way or another. And right now, many people are anxious, on edge, and afraid. We are living in trying and uncertain times. And as people of God, we find comfort in knowing that God is in our lives on a daily basis. God knows our trials and tribulations. God knows our cares, our heartaches and pains, as well as our joys, successes, and the love we share with others. Friends, this is good news, and that's why we sing praises to God, because God is the King of all the earth. The psalmist is reminding us to sing praises to God. 5 times in 2 verses, we are told to sing. Did you notice that when you sing along to a tune on the radio or on your phone, we tend to forget about ourselves? Hymns and spiritual songs remind us of God's attributes. They recall what God has done for us and give us hope for the future. By getting our mind off ourselves and onto God, that gives us a better perspective of life. We remember that God is the King of all the earth. This one thing, and nothing happens outside His sovereignty. Songs can build our faith and be a source of encouragement. The good news is that it really doesn't matter to God whether we are in tune or not, though my mother, who has been a musician her whole life, may disagree. This week, let's sing praises to God. Hum a familiar tune or sing along with your favorite hymn on YouTube. And as you sing praises to God, notice that your spirits are lifted. And remember this one thing. God is the King of all the earth. God is the King of all the earth. Thanks be to God. Friends, thanks for joining me today. Stay home and stay well, and we'll see you tomorrow.